In a forgotten corner of Afghanistan, a combat pilot discovers a Soviet bunker buried beneath the sand. What seemed to be just an abandoned facility turns out to be a secret laboratory where forbidden experiments were carried out, mixing human DNA with that of alien creatures. What she unleashed there not only threatens her life, but also that of every soldier in the region. A battle against the unknown is about to begin. So today we will see a movie called The Lair. The story begins with two fighter pilots flying over the Afghan desert. Suddenly, a group of terrorists ambushes them. Before their planes crash, both manage to eject in time. But as they descend by parachute, the terrorists spot them. They surround the two pilots and attack. One of them is killed in the ambush. Meanwhile, the pilot Claire bravely confronts the terrorists and manages to kill them all. Afterwards, Claire continues walking through the desert, finding no one for miles around. It is then that she discovers a Russian bunker sealed shut. She tries to open it, but the door won't budge. At that moment, another group of terrorists arrives and begins attacking her relentlessly. Claire defends herself, but she knows she is outnumbered and cannot resist for long. However, a missile fired by one of the terrorists strikes the bunker door and blows it open. Seizing the chance, Claire dives inside just in time. That bunker was underground, with a staircase leading down. With the terrorists behind her, Claire descends quickly to save her life. The place is in total darkness, so she switches on a glow stick. As she advances, she feels an eerie atmosphere. Observing the scattered objects, she realizes that experiments had been conducted there. Entering a room, she finds the corpse of a doctor in a very poor state, dead for a long time. Beside him are numerous documents related to the experiments and a recording device which Claire takes and keeps. Meanwhile, the terrorists who entered the bunker begin searching for her everywhere. One of them finds the main switch and turns it on, lighting up the entire facility. That is when they discover several glass chambers, inside which are strange humanoid creatures. The terrorists stare in astonishment when Claire suddenly appears from behind and starts attacking them. In the middle of the shootout, a bullet shatters one of the chambers and the creature inside falls to the floor, still unconscious. Claire, trying to escape, hides in another chamber to mislead the enemies. The terrorists scatter in search of her, except for one who remains near the creature. Thinking it was dead, he covers it with plastic. But as soon as he turns around, the creature brutally attacks him, tearing him apart and devouring him alive. Meanwhile, Claire continues fighting the terrorists and manages to climb the stairs back to the exit. Just as she is about to escape, a terrorist grabs her leg and tries to drag her back inside. Claire struggles but cannot break free. At that moment, the monstrous creature appears and tears the terrorist apart from behind. Horrified, Claire tries to flee from the bunker. The creature attempts to attack her as well, but she manages to get out and lock the door with the chain still hanging at the entrance. Claire runs away but encounters another terrorist. However, upon seeing the creature, the man flees in terror in the opposite direction. Claire keeps moving forward in search of help. After walking for a long time, she reaches a road, and just then, a military vehicle appears. From it descends Sergeant Hook, who says, "We came looking for you. Where is your partner?" Claire replies, "He died saving my life." Hook takes her to the base camp, where she asks him to inform her family that she is safe. At the camp, Claire tries to tell the commander in charge, the base CO, about what she saw in the bunker, but he does not take her seriously. He tells her there is no bunker in the area and that perhaps the terrorist attack left her confused. Claire insists and replies, "I've flown 28 combat planes, and although yesterday I was chased, shot down, and nearly decapitated to be uploaded on YouTube, I was never as scared as when I saw what was inside that bunker. We must go and find out what's happening there." The commander answers that the safety of all soldiers is his responsibility, and that there are already too many terrorists roaming around to face even more threats. Claire insists that what she saw was not a terrorist, but a creature with enormous claws, capable of tearing a man apart in seconds. The commander, still skeptical, orders that she be sent to the medical camp for a checkup. In the medical area, Claire recognizes the terrorist she had seen fleeing from the creature. At that moment, Hook appears, and Claire tells him again about the bunker. But he replies that he knows the area well, and that nothing like that exists in maps or satellite images. Claire insists the bunker is there, hidden in plain sight, and that the door had a chain with a message written in Russian. Then the terrorist who understood Russian intervenes and says, the inscription read, "Do not open. You probably made a terrible mistake by doing it." Claire explains that in that bunker there were many similar chambers, all with creatures imprisoned as if they were being preserved. Hook comments that, if it were Russian, that place must be at least 30 years old. Meanwhile, inside the bunker, all the creatures begin to awaken and attempt to escape. Elsewhere, the commander receives a call from the colonel, who orders him to ensure that nobody knows about the device Claire found, and to send it immediately. We then understand that some high-ranking officers do know what the bunker hides, but they keep it secret. On the other hand, Claire confronts a prisoner named Kabir, accusing him of shooting down her plane and killing her partner. Kabir replies that he only drove and was not a violent man, that he did it for his family, because in that region, if you are not with them, you are against them. Soon after, several of those creatures attack the military camp and kill numerous soldiers within minutes. One of them reaches the tent where Claire was with Kabir and attacks her, wrapping its tongue around her neck and unleashing tentacles from its eyes. Just as it is about to kill her, Kabir manages to break free, cut off the monster's tongue, and kill it. At the same time, another creature attacks the commander, but he manages to shoot it down until Hook appears with another soldier and saves him. The creatures continue slaughtering the soldiers, and the survivors lock themselves in a container to protect themselves. Outside, the monsters drag away the corpses. Inside, Hook interrogates Kabir, saying, "You're from here. What do you know about that bunker or those creatures?" Kabir replies, "I wasn't even born when Russia invaded my country. At that time, a star fell from the sky, and my people believed it was a message from God to start a war against the Russians. By then, the Afghans already had good weapons capable of easily shooting down enemy planes. But before they could use them, those terrible incidents began." Claire asks, "What kind of incidents?" Kabir replies, "Our people began to disappear suddenly. First one man, then another. Later women too. All vanished at night. Sometimes we found their mangled corpses, as if some animal had torn them apart and devoured them. Seeing all this, our people decided to hunt that animal, and my father led the group, but it was useless. 46 people from our village were killed, including my father. At dawn, the survivors carefully leave the container and discover that no one is left in the camp. Even the bodies of the soldiers were gone, dragged away by those creatures. However, they find a corpse there, one of the creatures they managed to kill the previous night. Seeing it up close, everyone is stunned, for it looked neither human nor animal. Sergeant Hook asks the military doctor, "What exactly are we facing?" After a quick examination, the doctor replies, "The skin of its body is as tough as a thick layer of tire rubber. Killing them will be very difficult." Then he adds, "If we want to know more, I must examine its interior." He then cuts open the creature's outer layer with a scalpel, and when he reaches inside, he is horrified. All its internal parts were human. Upon hearing this, everyone is shocked and wonders how such a thing could be possible. At that moment, the camp commander, who had been unconscious for a long time, finally regains consciousness. He tells Claire that military intelligence has been monitoring the area from which she barely escaped for decades. No one had ever confirmed anything unusual until the day before, when she entered that bunker and brought back a device. He explains that in December 1979, an alien ship entered Earth's atmosphere over Siberia and crashed there. Then Kabir intervenes. "That broken star my people saw." The commander replies, "Yes." The Russians sent their scientists to the ship. There they found the aliens dead, took samples of their DNA and mixed them with human DNA. The result was these dangerous creatures. and all that process was being carried out in that Afghan bunker, far from Russia. Sergeant Hook asks Claire, "How many creatures were there?" Claire answers, "An army." The commander states, "Last night they came here only to measure our strength." Hook replies, "Then tonight they will attack." Faced with this, the soldier Lafat suggests, "Why don't we pack our things and leave?" But Hook responds, "We only have half a tank of fuel, and if we go on foot, the terrorists will do things to us we can't even imagine." The commander concludes, "Believe it or not, we have all joined the fight against those creatures." At that moment, the creature lying dead on the table suddenly rises and attacks. It tries to go after Claire, perhaps because she was its first victim, but before it can kill her, Kabir confronts it. This time, however, his attack fails. Seeing this, the commander pulls out a bomb and blows himself up along with the creature, starting the battle. From then on, the survivors understand they have no other choice if they want to live. They decide to enter the bunker and destroy all the creatures, even if it means sacrificing their lives. They tell Kabir he is free to leave, but he replies, "No, I will go with you to avenge my father's death." They reach the bunker and place explosives everywhere to destroy it with the creatures inside. But just as they are about to leave, a beast attacks Hook and drags him into the depths. Everyone believes he is dead. Minutes later, Claire hears his voice and discovers he is still alive. She decides to go down to rescue him along with 4 other men. Outside, Wills secures the military jeep's cable to the old broken elevator so they can descend. With difficulty, the 5 manage to reach the bottom and begin searching for Hook. But at that moment, Wills contacts them from above. He has received a warning that in 20 minutes, a missile will strike the area. Time is running out, and they must hurry. In another chamber, Hook regains consciousness and sees a creature devouring corpses around him. When attacked, he fights with all his strength, manages to cut off the monster's tongue, and finishes it by smashing its head. Meanwhile, Claire discovers a large, illuminated chamber, inside of which lies a strange creature, the very alien that arrived on the crashed ship in Siberia, the one Russia had kept secret. Hook manages to reunite with the group, but the creatures are too many, so they advance quickly. Above, Wills is surrounded by terrorists who attack him from all sides. He fights back bravely, firing alone. Near the chamber, Kabir finds the mutilated body of a villager and realizes that the DNA of all the disappeared people, including his father, had been mixed with the DNA of that alien being. In reality, the Soviet experiment had failed, and those monstrosities were the result. Inside the bunker, only Claire, Hook, and 2 more soldiers remain alive, as the others are hunted down by the creatures. Believing Hook to be dead, Claire goes up the elevator with the others, but Wills cannot pull them up because he is surrounded by terrorists. Suddenly, several creatures attack the elevator. One rips off Brahmad's head, and another captures Kabir. Looking at its hand, Kabir sees his father's watch on the creature's wrist and realizes that Monster was him. At that moment, the jeep tied to the cable slides into the bunker and crashes down onto the elevator. Kabir shouts to Claire to jump. She does so, while Kabir dies burned alive along with the creature that had been his father. Above, the terrorists capture Wills and are about to execute him when Hook and Claire appear and gun down the enemies. The 3 look to the sky. The missile meant to destroy the site is already approaching and only a minute remains. They rush to a vehicle and escape at full speed. Moments later, the missile strikes the bunker, causing a massive explosion that wipes out all the creatures and many terrorists. From a distance, Claire, Hook, and Wills watch the destruction. With this, the movie comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed the video.